You are listening to All Burgundy and Gold, everything powered by the Urban Sports Scene and Fox Sports Radio 96.9 FM and 1340 AM, Hopewell, Virginia. Your hosts are Wole, myself Wole, and Glenn. The homie Mo and Ray, the homies Mo and Ray are out. We have a guest of the show. He's new to the show, Isaac Schade from the Lock on Tar Heels podcast. What's up, Isaac, and welcome to All Burgundy and Gold, everything with the Urban Sports Scene.
What's up, fellas? Thank you so much for having me. Glad to be here. Wole, Glenn. Listen, the fellas that are out, we miss you, but better luck next time. Pouring one out for the homies.
Pouring out for the homies, baby. Pouring out for the homies.
Isaac, you fit in already, Isaac. You fit in already.
I'm here for it.
Yes. I am so. Hey, Isaac, before we get started into like the podcast talk, can you tell our listeners about Lock on Tar Heels podcast?
For sure. So I'm the host of Locked on Tar Heels. It's a 5-day-a-week, Monday through Friday show, 30 minutes. We just do 3 segments a day, talking about anything that's going on in Tar Heels world. Obviously, mostly it's basketball because that is what Carolina fans are all about. But man, we do a good deal of football conversation. You know, obviously we're going to talk Sam Howell and Dyami today, but man, after Sam Howell, Drake May is a early Heisman candidate this year. So there's a lot of conversation there. And so love that. I'm also the co-host of the Locked on College Basketball podcast. So we do like all the national college basketball conversations. That's a lot of fun too. It's a crazy time in college athletics with everything going on with NIL and the transfer portal and all this, but man, I love it. And I love to just get to be like an advocate for college basketball because I'm here for it. And it's my favorite thing.
How are the Tar Heels looking after last season? What's the potential? What's the thought process? Because I'm not used to having the Tar Heels not, how they played last year. I'm not used to that.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not.
It was about, so they lost now up to 8 transfers out of the program and have brought quite a few in and a few freshmen. It seems to me like the pieces are going to fit better together next year. A lot of the issue was lack of role definition in the backcourt. And now they've got one of their freshmen coming in. Elliot Cadeau is a true point guard. And I think that's going to help do a lot for those who keep up with it. Armando Bacot is the center.
He's
awesome. So I think having a true point guard is really going to set him up well. And so, I project that they'll have a better year, but man, with the transfer portal, it's almost like free agency now, where every year it's so almost impossible, to predict where teams are going to be at. And so I make a fool out of myself every year because I'm like, man, this team's going to be top 10 and then they fall off the face of the planet. And, so that's just the deal is, man, owning your L's and being like, yeah, screwed that one up, but let's move on.
I have more questions. Now I like college basketball.
Yeah.
So is Hubert Davis in the hot seat?
No, not yet.
Oh, okay.
I think
I got Carolina friends, man, like Carolina Tar Heel friends, and they kind of get iffy with Hubert.
Exactly. Now, because here's the thing. It's been 4 years now that the Tar Heels have not been great because 4 years ago was the year that ended with COVID. Carolina was not going to make the tournament that year. That's still Roy Williams. Roy Williams last year, Carolina got bounced in the first round by Wisconsin. The only time in Roy Williams' career he ever lost in the first round of March Madness, which is crazy.
Yeah.
And so, it's even going back to that. Now, if Hubert Davis has a third straight, not so great year, because even the year Carolina, his first year when Carolina beat Duke in the Final Four and lost to Kansas, like that wasn't a great year before that run.
Yeah.
So if we're having this same conversation next year, that seat might get a little, it's like turning the seat warmer on in your car and Hubert Davis is going to be doing one of these, But for now, no, I would say he's not on the hot seat yet.
Okay. Well, I didn't need to get that real quick because I got Carolina friends and they would want to know. They definitely would want to know. Before we
who do you guys like?
They still mad because they didn't go to NIT last year. That's why they still mad at him.
They mad. So yeah,
about that.
I'm a Georgetown fan. I grew up a Georgetown fan.
Nice.
So I'm a Hoya fan, and so Carolina's done so much damage to my team. I know, believe me.
Yeah.
They ended Allen Iverson's run in the tournament one year, and then obviously the Jordan shot.
Yeah,
Jordan shot.
Man, that's rough. That's tough.
But we did get him 1 year. We did get him 1 year though. We got him 1 year. We got Carolina 1 year. I want to say that was the year. I think we got them when when Roy Hibbert and
It
Jeff
was
Green rolled
2008
Yes,
in the Elite Eight.
Yeah,
Elite Eight.
Roy Hibbert and Jeff Green.
Because Carolina was leading that game.
Oh
and
yeah, they
Georgetown
were.
came
Yeah,
back.
we were. Yeah, I thought I ain't gonna like go into that game. I was like, we're losing to Carolina. We're not. Carolina.
That was that in the JT3? Was that JT3?
Yeah, JT3. That's JT3. Yeah, it's JT3. That was the run. Jeff Green had a good tournament run.
College basketball is better when Georgetown is good, and I'm very hopeful that they can get things turned back around with new head coach there. And man, the Big East is strong right now too, so that's fun.
Yeah, I will say. Yeah, and I will say it's like for Georgetown, like the good thing is that Cooley fits the Georgetown brand.
I think so.
Really more than even JT3, more than Eden and Patrick Ewing, more than anybody has ever in a long time. The John Thompson way.
That'll be fun. Glenn, what about you? Who's your squad?
I grew up in Georgetown, being in an area, but right now, man, I've always been, when it comes tournament time, I rarely go against Michigan State because Tom Izzo is built. Yeah. Izzo's always built. Izzo's always
no,
built
it's the truth.
He's always built a team for tournament runs. They may not have a great regular season, but they built for tournament runs. And when I fill out my bracket, I put Michigan State as far as I can go because they always seem like they're there.
It's true.
It's them and Purdue at the top of the Big Ten this year. It'll be fun.
It is. College basketball is different though. With the transfer portal, I totally agree. It's a whole different.
It's fun. It's fun for everybody except for if you're a high school kid trying to get to college.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
People are projecting that for the first time ever, there will be more points scored by transfers this year than by student athletes.
I agree.
Transfers. Man, it's just wild. Yeah.
Insane.
So before for high schoolers.
Yeah, before we get into like the whole podcast talk, hey, I'm gonna get into the particulars. Subscribe to our podcast on Spotify, Stitcher, iTunes, and Google Podcasts. Just search All Burgundy and Gold Errrything. Also tweet us at ABG_Errrything and hit us up on IG at ABG_Errrything. And like our All Burgundy and Gold Errrything Facebook page. Make sure you subscribe to the All Burgundy and Gold Errrything YouTube channel as well. Let's get right into it. My man talked about Sam Howell and Dyami Brown. They both played at Carolina. Now they're here in DC. They were a dynamic duo. Both had great years together while in Carolina. What was their on-field relationship like back then?
Oh, well, let me just start with this before I even talk on-field.
Okay.
When Sam Howell was drafted the year after Dyami Brown, the first call that he got was obviously from Ron Rivera to say, hey, congratulations.
Yeah.
Welcome to the team. Call number 2, you know who that came from?
Dyami
Brown.
Dyami Brown. That's right. That's who these two dudes are. I think that to me is the first thing I wanted to say to you guys as kind of a microcosm of the relationship that Dyami and Sam shared. I remember reading something from Sam, like right when he got drafted, that was my paraphrase of it is like, dude, this is awesome. Dyami is one of my best friends. We had a blast at Carolina and I just can't wait to play together again. It's one of the, like sometimes guys just have a special connection on and off the field. And the connection off the field is what I think helped breeds it on the field. And that's just what we saw for those 2 years. Dyami was a freshman the year before Sam, and then Sam had 1 year after Dyami. But those 2 years in between when they were together, man, it was something different for sure.
Yeah, it's just crazy. Like Dyami, like just to have those two together, you can see some of the the viral videos of them working out together now. Since Sam has been like the starting quarterback for Ron has said he hasn't the
assumption, right?
The assumption, yes. But it's cool to see those two playing together. So for Dyami, his start it hasn't gone as expected for him. I'm sure. Do you think having Howell as the starting quarterback here in DC will rekindle that magic that we saw in Carolina?
I absolutely think so. For me, it's almost like riding a bike, right? Like you just get back to what you had, because I mean, it's this perfect match to me of Sam Howell's like, hey, guess what? I got a really strong arm and I can throw the ball really far and really accurate. And Dyami's like, hey, guess what? I can run really fast and win a lot of balls and catch those balls that you throw really far. And so it's just like this kind of perfect match when like, I don't know if you guys play. Like I went to college on a baseball scholarship, and
I love baseball. Go for it, bro.
Yeah, go for it. Right? I grew up in Atlanta. I'm a Braves fan.
Oh yes, I'm an Orioles fan. It's cool. It's cool.
Okay, good. I was worried.
Braves are my second team, though.
I got the best of both worlds. grew up from Maryland guys to love Orioles. And when they're here in Richmond, where their Braves used to be. So I got Chipper Jones and a lot of those guys before they even got to the Atlanta Braves. So got a bit for both worlds. And by being a wrestling fan, 605 TBS, Atlanta Braves.
Yes, man, y'all, this is music to my ears. I was worried y'all were going to be Nationals fans.
No.
The Braves were my second team. I loved Steve Avery when he was there, Greg Maddox. I know all of them. Smoltz, Glavine, David Justice when he was young. Ron Gant,
Crime Dog, baby.
Crime Dog. He's going into the Hall of Fame. Yeah,
he's going in Hall of Fame. Yep, Fred McGriff.
Yeah,
that's awesome. But getting back to what you asked me, sorry for that tangent, man. It was just we talk Braves and I'm going.
It's okay.
But it's like when you have that level of comfortability with someone where you can trust them, you just kind of go back to that time and again. And so I think for Sam, when Dyami's on the field, and I think that's something we got to talk about is opportunity for Dyami, right? But when Dyami's on the field, there's just that we've spent all these hours. You were talking about like their videos of them working out together. When you have all that investment in one another and you've had those 20 touchdown connections in college, like you just feel that and it just comes so easily back as a natural thing. And so, for me, it was like another part of this too, is that the offensive coordinator at Carolina, Phil Longo, he's up at Wisconsin now. He's their OC, which makes zero sense to me because they don't run air raid. Anyway,
that's just true.
Right? Like, so he was willing. That's another thing is Sam had the capability. Dyami had the wheels and the hands, but he was willing to let them like chuck it downfield and find a lot of success there. To me, the good news for the Commanders is who's that new offensive coordinator? What's his name?
Eric Bieniemy.
And where's he coming from?
Kansas City.
Okay, now listen, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that it's going to be Pat and Tyreek, but like you've got that capability that they showed during their time at North Carolina. And the other thing too is even though you got guys ahead of Dyami, like Terry McLaurin, like John Dotson, like Curtis Samuel, like Logan Thomas, there's still enough opportunity and enough balls and enough snaps in an Eric Bieniemy offense that Dyami can find his way in game onto the field and Sam can find him and then they can pick up and roll.
Yeah, you see that a lot. You said something that was great. There are a lot of balls to be able to go around. Next question is, man, what Brown, what made Brown Dyami electric in college? And do you think he lost his confidence when he came to the NFL?
Man, great question, Glenn. Like, so some of it in terms of his electricity in college is just the God-given stuff that you and I don't have. Like, I don't know about you guys. I'm 5'11" and my 40, I could probably get there tomorrow at some point. But my man Dyami is like 4'4", 40. He's got the size at 6'1", like 190 or so. But beyond that God-given stuff, like that allows him to find separation. But even when he couldn't, here's to me what might be the biggest thing that's always made Dyami electric is because with those downfield balls, as you guys know, like when you have NFL level corners and safeties who can get over and make plays on that ball, the thing is Dyami's going to be able to go up and high point it and make a play. It's not just about him creating separation and burning by you, although he can do that. But like, let's go back to baseball we were just talking about. I would almost equate him to like an elite center fielder who can not just like, you remember the movie Sandlot when Benny Rodriguez is teaching Smalls how to play and he's like, you just go out there and stick your glove and I'll take care of the rest. It's not Sam just doing that. Dyami's like, listen, I can make a play on a ball and go get it. So even though Sam has the arm and the accuracy to get it there, even when it's off a little bit, Dyami can go get it and then win contested balls over D-backs when he needs to. Like a stat that I've always loved per PFF, those hands. Dyami had 49 contested targets in college at UNC, didn't drop one of them.
Yeah.
So like those are the kind of thing when you ask me like what made him electric at Carolina, it's like that kind of stuff. His hands, he's pulling down contested balls and not dropping them. Glenn, to your other question about confidence, I think there really is something to that, right? Like we all know how finicky the mindset of athletes is. I don't know. Have you guys seen this, like the quarterbacks documentary that's on Netflix right now?
Oh, I missed it. I heard it's really good.
I heard it really good.
I heard it's really good.
On my list.
Y'all got to get into it. My wife and I just started watching it this week, but it's Mahomes and it's Marcus Mariota. My Falcons, who are terrible and haven't recovered from 28-3 yet, and then Kirk Cousins.
Ray's a Falcons fan. Our other co-host is a Falcons fan.
Well, again, pour one out. So, and then Kirk Cousins, who's like the ultimate choir boy. That, like, it's so funny. Yeah. But one of the things we just got into on an episode. Monday night, sorry. So, but Mariota's talking about, right? Like it's last season. So they've just drafted Des Ridder, and Mariota's not doing too well. And they're having all these talks about bringing in Des Ridder to replace him. And it's really interesting to hear Mariota talk about, like, man, there's such this fine line between knowing I can go out and do what I need to do and people not trusting me and any of that kind of stuff. Or for me as a batter, going up to the plate and knowing whoever's on that mound 60 feet, 6 inches ahead of me, I'm about to blow up your crap right now and drive it into the gap and then run to third base on you. Right. And so I think there is something to be said for, like, I think Dyami has maybe lost a little bit of confidence. I think some of it is that knee injury he had his rookie season. And it's like, I just wonder if he never really found a rhythm or a way back in after that. And so I think it's going to be such a win for him to have somebody like Sam Howell coming back in, whom he just has this rapport and history with, riding a bike like we talked about earlier. And so I think now he's got this opportunity with his quarterback and with a new offensive coordinator who is going to do things that play to his strengths. I think this is a new opportunity for Dyami to find some of that confidence back.
Yeah, I agree with all that, because I feel to me, I think he did. I thought he was pressing, because in my opinion here, he's been pressing because he is, to me, there are guys who are ahead of him that arguably aren't as talented as him. And it was harder for him to get games and do the other offensive coordinator here in DC who was here. And Scott Turner. I'll say it's Scott Turner. I'll say his name.
It's like Voldemort, he who shall not be named.
Exactly. Yeah. That's exactly who he is. That's how I call him, Candyman, Voldemort. He's all of that. He's all of that. So, but I feel like he damaged Dyami's confidence, to be honest with you, because of the lack of playing time, the lack of trying to get him in the rotation, because at the end of the day, like, that's still a phenomenal. Dyami's still a phenomenal talent. You can't deny it. And because you can see Dyami dropping balls that he wouldn't drop in college, like you're referring to, or contested plays where you saw in college him going up and getting those plays and he wasn't able to go get it. And that's not the dude that you saw in college. You know what I mean? That's not his ability. Like, if he's not burning somebody, that's possible, right? But the plays he typically made, he wasn't getting that opportunity. Now you can fast forward, like, even go back to last season where he had that big 2-touchdown game against the Titans. Against the Titans. And too deep, the Carson threw 2 bombs to him, and he made one fantastic catch and one that was on stride. That's Dyami. Like, I felt like he was getting his confidence after that first touchdown. Second touchdown, he made a fantastic catch. Then you could tell, like, okay, he felt like himself again. But what happened after that?
Heineke doesn't have the arm. Heineke
never had the arm, and you never put the ball in your hands.
Yeah,
I thought too that Dyami should have been returning kicks. That gives him an opportunity to show how explosive he was, how where he can get to, and that gives you confidence and act like you contributed to the team because you were able to put the team in a positive position instead of starting on a 25-yard line like Dax, man.
Yeah, exactly. I just feel like Dyami has a great opportunity, like you mentioned. Dyami has a great opportunity here with Eric Bieniemy, because if you look at what Kansas City did, they spread the ball out. Even with Tyreek Hill there, even with Kelsey, you had other guys. Nicole Harden had made plays as a wide receiver. So the ball spreads in Kansas City. So I think Dyami is going to have a great opportunity to showcase himself. And like you said, I think he's going to be more confident because Sam Howell is out there throwing the football. And I think just off biasness alone, to be honest with you, for Sam Howell, I'm sure, like, if he sees Dyami in a situation where he thinks Dyami can beat that dude one-on-one, he may lean on Dyami. He's like, you know what? I know you. I've seen you. I've seen what you can do. And I don't know if you watched them in preseason, when they were together in preseason, Sam was going to Dyami a lot when they were together. So it is a situation. Yeah, it is. There is something to that. Like, there is something to, like, okay, you know what? You've been my dude in college. Like, you were my guy. Like, that doesn't go if we're together, that's not gonna go anywhere. That's not gonna go anywhere. You know what I mean?
It becomes the Dwayne Haskins, Terry McLaurin situation. If you knew when Dwayne was in Washington, bless his soul, he was always going to Terry McLaurin.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So,
and that's the thing. Like, you talk about Terry McLaurin, think about all the attention, like, as his profile continues to grow around the league, he's just going to get more and more and more attention. And that frees things up for every other receiver on the field, including Logan Thomas as well. Right. Like, and so I think that's a great thing. And I wouldn't be surprised, fellas, check this out. Like, Carolina had some really good tight ends during Sam Howell's tenure, and he relied on that a lot. So I wouldn't be shocked to see him and Logan Thomas develop a really good rapport as well. Use that outlet. And so I would say keep your eyes on that too.
Oh, yeah. I just think Sam, like, all right, so I won't go to Sam Howell. I do kind of want to talk about Sam Howell too a little bit. So here, everyone's going off of, like, you have some of his detractors who would say he only had one good game. I mean, not even a good game. The Dallas Cowboys game was like, to them. Like, to me, it was a good game. Like, to me, it was a good game. I love that game. Like, I thought that I saw all I needed. I'll be honest with you. I saw all I needed to see from him in preseason. In preseason, I liked what I saw. But the Cowboys game kind of to me, it proved my point. Like, the Cowboys game proved my point to a point where, forget the stats, that dude is a dog. Like, Sam Howell's a dog. Looking at him from the outside, it looks like he's a real confident dude. Like, he really believes in himself. I don't think, like, to me, it's hard.
Without being the turd, he's not Baker Mayfield, right?
Yeah,
like,
exactly. He's not. But I feel like you can't. That dude don't lose confidence. Like, wow, look, he don't lose confidence. Am I right by thinking that?
You absolutely are. And here's why that is because he's a guy that, like, I know everyone has to put the work in to get to this level, but this dude, like, works his butt off like no one I think I've ever seen before. And so his confidence, again, isn't an arrogance outside of the healthy form that, like, all athletes have to have.
Yeah, of course.
But he's got this confidence because he knows he's put the time in, because he knows the playbook back and forward, because he's kind of a shy, quiet, reserved guy. Like, I remember in those press conferences were all over Zoom because that was coming out of COVID. It was like pins and needles trying to ask him questions to get stuff out of him. But man, he is a fierce teammate. He has the respect of all his coaches. And so, like, I feel like he and Dyami are going to be, like, thick as thieves, getting things figured out. And so, yeah, there is a confidence, but it comes from the right place, not a misplaced confidence.
Would he be, like, the best quarterback coming out of Carolina that you saw? Or would it be like May or
before Drake May? Yes.
Before.
But dude, Drake May is going to run past Sam Howell, but they are 1 and 2.
Okay.
Without question.
Got you. Okay.
How long before Sam Howell has total, I don't want to say total respect from the locker room?
Ooh, that's a good one. I mean, because I think going back to that hard work, I think because guys see him putting the time in, and then although he is reserved, like, with media and stuff like that, like, he's all in with his teammates. And so he's a guy that can get the locker room as quickly as needed, but he's also not going to, like, step on toes of veterans when he shouldn't. So it always felt like at Carolina to me that he got the locker room in an appropriate amount of time, if that makes sense, rather than just saying, I'm the quarterback, everyone else move out of the way. Right. Like, and so the veterans ahead of him for the Commanders, like, he's going to appropriately kind of be subservient to them. But there will come a time when they say to him, Sam, we need you to take this locker room. And then he will, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I know. You can kind of see it already. Like, you can see what he's doing. Like, like, you have players who have already vouched for him, which is wild. Like, Jahan Dotson loves him already. He's like, that's my quarterback. Like, John has already said it. And you can see, like, him and it looks like him and Jacoby Brissett have had a great relationship. Like, they're working out together. So you can tell, like, he respects his vets, and then players just like him. He has, like, that Taylor Heineke vibe with way more talent. Like, way more talent. Like, way more talent. Heineke vibe. I know you're hearing me.
All due respect.
That's where I was getting to without saying Taylor's name, because
all due disrespect. All due disrespect. That's how I'm at. All due disrespect. Like, way more talent. Way more talent than Heineke. That's what Heineke have. Go ahead, I'm my bad.
That's what I was getting to, because Washington had two extremes last year. You had Carson, who didn't say much, and you had Heineke, who was the darling.
Gregarious. Yeah.
Yeah, right. He's out there. So how seeing both sides fit into that Washington locker room, and be able to get those. And that's the way I see it is he'll let everything come off his play. And when he needs to speak, you saw that in the Dallas game when he needed to rally him up and he needed to go get it and he hurry up to the line and do what he needed to do. So there'll be glimpses of both of those things from Sam Howell.
And it comes from not just those locker room moments, but he'll stand in the pocket and take the hit in the face of whomever's coming at him. His junior year, his last year before he was drafted, after Carolina lost Dyami Brown and Daz Newsome, who went to the NFL, and the dual running back. They had Javonte Williams, who's the Broncos running back, and Michael Carter, who's the Jets running back now, all his sophomore year. And then he lost all those dudes. Suddenly, Sam Howell was the leading rusher that next year. And so he's a dude that'll put his nose in there and do the things for his team. And so the on-field moments, he'll earn respect as well.
Yeah, he's a dog. I love Sam Howell.
It's a good word for him.
He's a dog. Yeah, it is. Hey, Isaac, man, this has been dope. Before we let you go, I want you to again plug everything. Plug the podcast, plug your Twitter handles, your Facebook page, plug it all.
My most active thing on social media is Twitter at Isaac Schade, ISAAC. There's a C in Schade. It's German. It means what a pity. I don't know, man. And then Locked On Tar Heels and Locked On College Basketball are both audio and video, just like you guys. And so you can find us on YouTube or any of the audio places you listen to podcasts. And then I'm on Facebook too, but that's like all my kids and my wife and stuff like that. So there's sports stuff on there sometimes. But if you're looking for the sports stuff, come find me on Twitter.
You're not getting on Thread? Like you're not.
Oh, I am on Thread. I forgot about that. Yeah. Man, they got to get their stuff figured out.
I know, man. I know.
I need a chronological timeline. I need to be able to see what I want to see. So I'm on there and getting that going as well. Yeah.
Yeah. When they get their stuff together, I join.
I'm on Thread. Look, I'm prepared for when Twitter melts down. I'm ready. Look, you got it. So it's like, you got it's like when a snowstorm hits, you go to the grocery store, you get everything.
Be in front of the power curve, right?
Yeah, exactly. I gotta make sure I'm set. Like I'm situated.
Oh man, Elon Musk is a dumpster fire, boys.
Exactly. Hey, well, this has been a dope show. Thanks, Isaac, for being on.
Thank you.
And we're about to close the show out. Anyway, folks, you've been listening to All Burgundy and Gold Errrything.
Errrything.
You did. Say it for me. I always have
Errrything. Man, I grew up on Nelly. I'm an Atlanta boy.
That's what I'm talking about, Isaac.
Luda, everybody, Cash Money. We're going.
I love Isaac.
Yes.
Hey, everybody. Hey, this has been amazing. Everybody, thanks for listening. Peace.